everybody, happy Monday. I guess it's a happy Monday. I'm downtown Asheville. We just had dinner at this place called Pack's Tavern. Let me turn around here. I don't know if you can see it behind me. It's right over there. We're going to do the ghost tour, and I am going to try to film it for you. I'm at, this is Pack Square, part of Asheville, downtown, and I just spent 2 hours at the doctor's office having tests run. I had 3D mammograms, I had ultrasounds. It's not good. I have a mass, and they're going to call me in the morning to schedule a biopsy. 3 different ladies told me it didn't look good from the images, so I wasn't officially told anything. And the radiologist said that after I have my biopsies, I'll hear back in 5 to 7 days. So I will tell you more as I know more. So yeah, we're gonna go do the ghost tour, and I'm gonna try to film some for you. And so I will see you in a little bit.
Anything like that. I know, right? Does she bring enough to share with the rest of the class was really the true question there. But getting started, that's Honey. That's your driver. You guys have already met her. And that's Ramona. You guys have met Ramona. And I will be your guide this evening. My name is Cat, C-A-T, just like the domestic animal. And do we have anyone on the trolley tonight that is a native of Asheville? Anyone that's local? Yes! It's not just us. We're not the only crazy people on this trolley tonight. But also, it means that we're going to have to tell the stories as they're meant to be told. We can't just make anything up as we go through the city for folks that are visiting. Locos indeed, yes, local locos. But as we go, we're going to tell you guys a collection of true crime, strange history, and haunted stories. So we're going to tell you guys about some weird places here in our town. A lot of these stories you can actually trace back to newspaper articles and pictures and such online if you want to know information about any of the tales we tell you tonight. Starting off here in the town square, this is Pack Square. Back in 1918, that is when Spanish influenza ended up decimating our population here in Asheville. It literally took out 1/10 of our residents, and when that happened, the funeral home that was here on the corner could not keep up with the influx of the dead, so they ran out of room very quickly from all the bodies piling up around the funeral home, and they had people stacked out in front of the entrances, like 2 and 3 corpses deep at one point. The city officials now tell the residents of the town to wrap their loved ones in the sheets or blankets that they died in, and literally, Monty Python style, bring out your dead and take them as close to the funeral home as you can get them. Now, that ended up with corpses from the north end of Market Street all the way down to the south. There were even wagons coming over from funeral homes on the outskirts of town trying to pick up the bodies and alleviate the dead that were here around the city square. This was a coffin manufacturers back in 1918 that sat next to the funeral home. And like many of the businesses that were here on Market Street at the time, they were taking the dead into the cellars, the corpses that were right in front of their business, and they were trying to put as many of them down in the basement as possible on blocks of ice to keep the corpses off the streets, to keep people from having to walk around the bodies, and to keep them from further festering. We now end up with the guys that ran the coffin manufacturers taking the ice as it melted down out from under the bodies, and they would sell the still sizable small chunks to local drinking establishments, to taverns, yep, as the ice that went into people's drinks. So there was definitely a reason that our population was decimated back in the day. Absolutely. And those guys were found out. They lost their business. They ended up going to jail. They eventually turned that building there under new ownership into a bed and breakfast. So now people are dining and sleeping where the coffins, the corpses, the ice, and the influenza had once been. I know, sharing the love, exactly. And as the years went by, that would eventually turn into an amazing Italian eatery, a place called Vincenzo's Ristorante. And they were there for about 23 years until they closed almost 4 years back. And I got to take haunted pub crawls into that building whenever Vincenzo's was there. We would sit in that cellar bar, and of course I would let folks order their drinks before I would tell them the story. That was fun for me. And we would have the bartenders and the servers occasionally chime in with their own details of being in that establishment late at night, how when they were closing, the cellar bar would oftentimes take on an icy chill, that it would get very cold down there, even in the summer months. And that a lot of the time, when you would look out into the dimmed corners of the dining room late at night, you would see what appeared to be those bodies still wrapped in fabric in the basement. So if you guys want to go for a cocktail and a taco after this, go to Polanco to their cellar bar. Just maybe be wary about ordering anything with ice there still. Oh, hello, little fellow. Wandering around. Thomas Wolfe here. That fellow right there is Thomas Wolfe. He was a little more three-dimensional in life, but he was a famous author that grew up here in our town. He wrote stories about Asheville, and in his early adulthood, he published a book called Look Homeward Angel. This book was a collection of stories about our town and a lot of the citizenry. And in these stories, Thomas Wolfe, that's his name right there on the side, Thomas Wolfe, and he changed the names of a lot of the people that he wrote about in Look Homeward Angel, but Thomas did not change their occupations or their addresses. Yep, so people very easily figured out who they were in the stories, and they weren't happy about this. They didn't like the book here in town when it first came out because they felt that it was basically a tell-all, that it was a gossipy book filled with stories about all the people here in town. And so it didn't do well. Thomas ends up shortly after that traveling. He leaves town and he goes all over the world. He ends up traveling and writing more. He publishes another book towards the end of his life called You Can't Go Home Again. And he doesn't really in his lifetime. He actually ends up returning again to the home in 1938 when he dies from complications of tuberculosis of the brain. His corpse is sent back here to what was his family home, what is known as the old Kentucky home here in our town. And if you've ever read any of Thomas's writings, you've read about the house in Dixieland. That's it. That's what he called the old Kentucky home in his books. And his wake was held there in the lower level parlor back in 1938. And they believe that his ghost attached to the house in the greater downtown Nashville area at that time. He's been seen roaming the city streets late at night, sitting on park benches, speaking with another spirit, which is believed to be that of his brother Ben, who died here in the house back in 1918. So up there on the second floor, they have treatment rooms where the patients are assessed by doctors and nurses, and eventually they learn that the patients are so chaotic that they need more means of restraint there in the house. So in addition to straitjackets and cuffs and such, we end up with a leather strap net being added to the house itself. Between the first and second floor, running from balcony to balcony there within the house, there's spider web-like net was put between the first and second floor. So if you walked into the front doors and you looked straight up above you, you would see it strung across above you from balcony to balcony there. between the first and second floors. It was meant to keep the patients from jumping off of the balcony and committing harm to themselves or others. And eventually the patients would end up catching their limbs in the net, breaking arms and legs, and even catching their necks, occasionally hanging themselves over the years. When the hospital closed in 2000, they never took that net down. It stayed in the building, and people tried to rent it out after that. A law firm tried to occupy the building in 2000 and broke their lease. They left before 2001, saying that they were seeing what they believed to be the apparitions of the former patients, that the energies were trapped in the house because of the net, and that they also experienced poltergeist-style activity when they would come into the house in the mornings. There would be files, law books, potted plants, personal effects, pictures, all this stuff strewn about the offices there in the building. So they left, and the house goes back up on the market. It stays there over the years and goes through 6 different realtors in that time, dropping in price from $3.6 million down to about $1 million when somebody finally purchased it last year. Yeah, that is not typically how real estate works here in our town. Yeah, usually the prices go up, but we end up with some folks buying it this time last year, and they turn it into luxury renovations. So people are going to be renting those out here in the near future. They're in that house that no one's occupied residentially since about 1904. So it'll be interesting to see what folks living there will experience, and if any of the people that move in this year, they're due to move in around Halloween, by the way. So it'll be interesting to see if they're still there next year. All right, so coming up on your left-hand side of the trolley is Highland Hall. And Highland Hall is this red brick building with the white columned porch. Off the side of the building is another porch that is lit up with white columns and a tree just off of it with branches arcing out over the lawn. That tree was the favorite place of one of the more high-profile patients that stayed here at the hospital over the years. If you couldn't find her when it was time for meals or to be put to bed, she was usually sitting there under that tree, writing, drawing, painting, reading, or smoking. And we call that tree, which was her place of solace, Zelda's tree, after this woman. Her name was Zelda Sayre Fitzgerald, the wife of author F. Scott Fitzgerald, who penned The Great Gatsby and also plagiarized several of Zelda's writings. He ended up dying in 1940. Zelda stayed here twice during her tumultuous relationship with him in the 1930s, and after his death in 1940, Zelda would come back again. She would stay with us twice more. Her last visit was in the winter of 1948, and through the weeks of that season, she was cleared of her sanity and due to be released. She comes down to the top of this little stone staircase here on the afternoon of March 7th, 1948, to wait for her cab to leave the hospital. And as Zelda waits, she starts to fill with dread and anxiety there at the top of those steps, and she decides she doesn't want to go back into the world just yet. She wants to commit herself back into the hospital, so she dismisses her cab and picks up her bags, makes her way back across the lawn, and ends up going up the front steps onto the porch of a large dormitory that used to sit there called the Central Building. It was built at the turn of the last century. The Central Building, Zelda and 8 other women would be gone 3 days later. They would end up perishing in a large-scale fire here at Highland Hospital on the night of March 10th, 1948. And that event was actually originally blamed on Zelda by the night nurse that was working here in the building, who turned out to be the culprit herself, who set the fire. Her name was Willie Mae. She was a former patient here at the hospital, and she was working in the building as one of Dr. Robert Carroll's practices in promoting people who had real-life skills into positions here in the hospital. Good start to a horror movie there, and they go and do that. We end up with the girl completely excited about their experience, and the guy looks terrified that they're sitting back up here in front of the Grove Park after checking out that morning. He said that it was way too soon to be seeing the hotel again, but she was really excited because she was like, no, it's really cool and it's haunted, and my hair dryer kept coming on in her room all night last night. and it was unplugged. So she was extremely proud of that fact, yeah. A family of about 7 were staying here at the hotel not long after that, and 2 of the travelers were awake one night in bed when all of their other companions were asleep. They said that they heard footsteps around the room, they heard voices of people talking softly there in their hotel room as well, and their 7-year-old said that he kept getting locked in the bathroom there in their hotel room as well. Now, a lot of this activity, all of these are things that have happened in one certain room here at the hotel over the years, room number 545. And that is said to be where a beautiful young woman was staying back in the summer of 1920. She comes to the hotel late one night. She is described as being in her early 20s. She has long, flowing blonde hair down her back, and she is wearing a beautiful pink evening dress. There is a replica of it on display in the Vanderbilt wing of the hotel with an exhibit dedicated to the Pink Lady as well. And she disappears from the lobby up into the upper levels of the hotel, not to be seen again until hours later when her body is found in the middle of the night in the 3rd floor Palm Court sitting area. She is on the flagstones with a broken neck, and she has been pushed off of a balcony from 2 floors up above from in front of room number 545. Now the weird thing is, 545 wasn't let out on the guest register that night, nor was it in a very heavily occupied portion of the hotel. And we end up with evidence that a couple of people had been in the room, and it was believed that the Pink Lady, as she is known by that dress she wore the night she died, as her identity has been shrouded in mystery over the years, it is believed and rumored that she was actually an off-the-records secret hotel employee meant for entertainment purposes for gentlemen here at the Grove Park Inn, and that she may have gotten too close to someone in power here at the hotel, and in order to keep their reputation in the Grove Park Inns intact, that she was asked to leave. She may have ended up trying to blackmail this person, is the belief here around our mountains, and that she ended up losing her life as a result, that she was killed to keep her silent so that she would keep the secrets of the hotel. And now she ends up haunting all of these decades later, and we never found out where her body was taken after it left the hotel that night. Nobody knows if she was given a proper burial or if she may even just be in a shallow grave here on the Inn's property. It explains why her presence is so strong when people see her, if her body was close by. People say that it's as if she is a living and breathing intelligent person speaking to you here in the hotel late in the night, until she does something strange, like disappear into a puff of pink mist mid-conversation right before your eyes. This is what several of the staff members here at the Grove Park Inn have had happen over the years.
Hey everybody, it's Patricia, and it is Saturday, October the 27th, and I have not filmed since Monday, October 15th. So that was what you just saw, the ghost tour. I am on my computer, so I do apologize if I am distracted. I am trying to take care of some stuff. I just finished filming some videos for next week for my Finding My Tiara channel, and I think I did a little too much today. I am in pain. When I was filming the last video, which will be the one up Monday, of my samples, I was in pain. And it's eased off. I took some medication, and yeah, not good. I got to be careful. It's not where they, got a little pull. It's not where they took the biopsy from the breast. It's my lymph node area under there. Oh, it hurts. I think I was lifting and pulling a little too much today. So, yeah. If you haven't heard, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. On that Monday I filmed is when I went back in for the other mammograms and ultrasounds, and then I went in a week ago Monday, which was the 22nd. I went in that Monday and had, was it that Monday? Yeah. Yeah, this past Monday. It's just all blurry now. This past Monday, I went in and had biopsies done. And I got the call on Tuesday night about 7:30 from my GP that it was cancer. And now, since then, I've heard from my GP again, but I haven't heard from the nurse navigator who is in charge of my case and who is supposed to call me, and we go from there. Dr. Snoddy was a little perturbed that I hadn't heard from anybody. So he said, I will on Monday, and I probably will hear back from him too, because I've heard from him 3 times this week. I have the best doctor. I really do. I don't want him to retire, but he says I'll have him next year, but then 2020, I don't want him to go. So, I am, Nathan's sick. I can't do 2 things at one time. Sorry, guys. Nathan's sick. He is, got a bad cold. And, he feels awful. And he's had it most of this week. And I wish it would get better. I feel sorry. My poor babes. But, yeah, he didn't do school on, well, we didn't do school this week. We haven't done school in 2 weeks. Let's be real. I haven't done anything. Excuse me. I need to get off Facebook. I don't have time for all that. So, we haven't done school. He didn't do his chemistry. They're wanting to paint pumpkins tomorrow, but he doesn't feel like it. And I don't want to go over there. Is that bad? I don't want to go. I just don't feel up to it. I haven't left my house since I had the biopsies. I just don't feel like it. I'm going to continue to vlog all through this. If it helps somebody, I hope to help somebody. And if anything else, it helps me to talk about it. Brian doesn't want to talk about it. He's having a hard time with it. I've been through this with my mother. She had a mastectomy at this exact same age I am. And then she had a lumpectomy 15 years later. And I was there for all of that. And so I kind of got an idea. Although I was young, the mastectomy, I was in was it middle school? Yeah, I was in middle school. So a lot of that I don't remember. And a lot of that I wasn't privy to, you know. My parents didn't talk about it a lot. And so, but I was there. But I was definitely there for the lumpectomy. I took care of her then. Sorry, my husband is talking to me. He's asking about Nathan. I'm just shocked that we haven't gotten sick. I really am, because he's in his chest. He just, bless his heart, he's just coughing, and oh, when he takes his medicine, he feels good. And then you can tell when the medicine starts wearing off, you know. So I wanted to just film today. I've got my videos I just filmed, and I've got them up in the computer. I'm getting ready to edit them. And then I'm going to take what I'm filming here and what I filmed that Monday and get that up for you guys tomorrow. And we'll start a brand new week on Monday. Like I said, I've not gone anywhere. I haven't felt like it. Physically and mentally. I haven't felt like it. Oh, man, my arm hurts. Well, it's not my arm. It's hurts right here, and I just haven't felt like it, and I don't want to go. I don't want to go anywhere right now. I just want to know what's next. I just want to know. You guys know me by now. I want to know what's happening next. I've heard from a lot of wonderful people. A lot of you guys I didn't even know had been through breast cancer, and a lot of you are helping me out a lot. And I have a lot of friends who I did know have breast cancer who are talking to me. Luckily, my husband's, his coworker, she had, not luckily, why did I say luckily? My husband's coworker, Pam, she had a lumpectomy earlier this year, and his supervisor, her partner, just had a double mastectomy. So he talked to his supervisor today, and then he's going to go to her boss on Monday or Tuesday or sometime next week and talk to him. But his supervisor was like, "Hey, you don't have to. Don't worry about it. You know, you just tell me when we got you covered. Don't worry about it. You gotta be out. Don't worry about it." So it's really nice. I love where my husband works. They are the nicest people, and they are just so kind, and they were so good to Brian. He's been on so many trips overseas, and you know, but he goes above and beyond for them as well. You know what I mean? He's always there when they need somebody. Even if it's not his job, he's there. I'll do it. You need me, I'm there. So I think that's why because he rarely asks, you know, for time off unless it's vacation, you know, or whatever. So anyway, I'm still at this kind of teary-eyed. I haven't cried yet. I don't want to cry when my son is here. I think that's the biggest reason I haven't cried yet. I don't want him to be upset. He's handling it pretty good, but I don't want him to be upset. And I know once I start crying, I'm gonna cry. Ooh, so we got to change the subject right now because I can't let this start yet. I have to wait till he's not here, and I don't know when that's gonna be. So I just have to put it off for a while. So yeah, I'm gonna go and finish chatting with my husband online, and then editing these videos for next week. If I don't have a video every day next week on my other channel, I'm sure you guys understand why. But I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to stick to my schedule. And because I like structure. I like, this is what's going on, and this is how we're doing it, and this is what's going to happen, and yeah. I'm a little out there right now. And I don't like that feeling. You know, I want to know, well, what we doing next. And I would probably be more freaking out if I didn't kind of know what to expect, you know, because of going through it with my mother. But if I hadn't went through it with my mother, I would be totally freaking out at this point, probably. But I have to say, I have a ton of wonderful friends, and I have a huge family, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I got lots of support. So a friend of mine from high school contacted me today, and she says, "You know me, I have no job. I am so flexible." Well, she has a job. She's a singer. She sings with a couple of bands, but you know, no 9 to 5, Monday through Friday job. So she says, you need me to sit with you? You need me to be? I'm there. I said, all right, Alicia, probably will take you up on that, because I know it's going to be hard for Brian. I don't want him, he will have to miss some work, but I don't want him to miss a lot of work. So Alicia she would be great. I got some other friends too that are available if I need them to come over. I wish some of you were available and close and could come help me. But you helped me in other ways, so thank you so much. And so yeah, I'm going to go. I'm rambling like the old days. So thank you all. Thank you all for being here for me. And we'll start a new weekly vlog Monday. So I'll let you know what happens about tomorrow. But right now, Nathan and I, neither one want to go out. So I don't think we'll be doing anything tomorrow. So I'll see you guys next week.